Last singles for the week, squats. A little bit nervous. As I've said a million times, the form so much better. Squats feel so much better, but they haven't really caught up to my deadlifts and bench in terms of comfortability and feeling well. I'm still trying to get there. I think the last thing I need to figure out is the best optimal foot stance for my proportions. So whether I want to go out more, which I've already ruled out, whether I want to go neutral or more like in. And neutral feels good, but I feel like I kind of want to try going more in today, at least for the warm up. And then if it doesn't feel well, go back to neutral. Like I've been able to, like, working on like positioning and everything, get to a point where squats have been feeling good compared to how they used to feel. But I feel like a closer stance would be like better for me. So I'm gonna try that shit out, and hopefully, you know, that is like the last missing piece to the squat puzzle, and I could go for some nasty shit today for the top single. But we'll see. I am using plus size barbella today just because I do not want a repeat of last week where I fucking go down, and then if my positioning is not perfect, the side of my weight hits the fucking hits this. Like, we were doing rep work last week, so I mean we were still able to recover, you know, and at least like finish the rep. But top singles, bro, if I get up to that like heavy shit and that shit happens, like there's no recovering. Like 100% will not get it. So decided to go with the big girl just because this sticks out more. So there's like no way that I would come down and the weight would hit this. So I don't know, bro. I just like not really used to focusing on my foot position. I usually just step out, and whatever position I'm in, that will be the position I go into a squat. So it's like hard because I'll step out and I don't know if this is like close or like neutral. Like I said though, I mean, I'm gonna spend the warm up figuring it out, and then if it just like feels worse or just feels the same, I'm gonna go back to what I'm used to. So we got until whatever to figure it out. Feels pretty good. I think I'm also going to use the warm up to focus on the walk back as well. You know, just kind of like, instead of trying to rush it, make sure I'm just standing up, taking a moment, you know, and then just trying to take the least amount of steps to get there. So just stand up, 1, 2, and then just the last final position step. Then I feel like if I lock in for the warm up, this is in like the most like shitty spot, dude. Cause like it's like cool, like, oh, the weight's right here, but you have like these bars and you gotta like twist and shit to like pit them in. You don't even know it. You don't even know it. All right, well, as I was saying, I want to focus on that walkout, you know, and yeah, just continue to focus on fucking really feeling out, you know, this closer stance and seeing if it's gonna be better for me. So do this and focus on that. Let you guys know what I think of the walk back and the stance. And grade it from out of 1, or no, rate it out of 10. 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. The scale. I'm gonna use these because these are cooler. I know this is 10 pounds more, so like I want to go up to 405 for the next warm up, but I also don't feel like doing the calculations. So I'm just gonna put on that 4th plate and then get into this. I don't know, maybe do 3 more warm ups, including this. We'll see. This is the heavyweight, you know, the start to the heavyweight. For the 55-pound bar, 415. So this is where we lock in. From this point on, really locking in for the rest of the warm up to get to that heavy shit, you know? So like, yeah. I mean, it feels pretty good. Like, I can't really tell if it's like that like closer stance is better than neutral, you know, for me or not. Like, I really can't at this point. So, I'm gonna just keep doing it, you know, and then if it feels better, great. If it doesn't, we could always just go back to neutral stance, you know. So, not really a big deal. It's just like I can't really tell if that shit is feels better or not, you know. So gonna go heavier and just focus on it more, I guess. Only thing we really can do. So the fuck, gotta go up to 510 pounds for that last one with the 90%. So I guess I could just put on a 35. What would that be? 415 plus 70, 485. I feel like that's kind of close. I don't really give a shit. I've already calculated that. I don't feel like calculating another weight, so I'm going with the 35s. All right, I'm gonna really focus on just feeling this out, you know. I think I'm gonna give Barbella a little rub down. This is the plus size Barbella, so little thick, rolls around a little bit. So we're gonna get that quick rub down, and also because I love rubbing her down. Just had to get that out of my system, man. So I was able to feel it out then, and that felt good. I felt really good. Like, that felt really good. Like even though I'm not all the way warmed up, so like off the rack it felt heavy, like still going down and then coming back up. That felt good, you know. So I'm gonna try to do this 510, and if it feels just as good, I'm gonna stick to that for the top single, you know, and then just work on getting used to the more inward stance. So we're so fucking close. So close to fully figuring out the squats and being able to go for some juicy PRs finally, bro. Like, I don't think you guys understand how fucking long I've plateaued with my squats and how much I've had to, like, dude, it just got to that point where it's like when you start lifting, dude, you're getting into heavy weight and shit, you kind of get to a point where your pure strength will only take you so far. And from that point on, you got to be precise with your form. You know what I mean? Like those little things, feet positioning, hand placement, you know, all that shit. Your positioning before you go in to the squat. Like those are the little things that are gonna help you push the limits of your lifts, bench, squat, and deadlift. So I got to that point with squats where like my strength only took me so far. And then I had to figure out what's wrong with my squats. Like what are the things I could go in and work on to really push the limits of my squats and get back to those PRs, you know? So I learned that leaning a little bit more in my stance, you know what I mean? Bracing better, you know, all this shit. And the last thing I think I need to work on is my stance, finding a good stance for myself. And I think we found that. So if this 510 feels great and the stance is working out, I feel like after next training block, we're gonna be going for some crazy shit for that top single. 110 pounds. We got on the 510 pounds, and this is the 90%. So I'm gonna do this, and then I'm going into that top single. I don't think I'm gonna go, well, I know so. I'm not gonna go for a max, just because like, say we finish up, right? We focus on everything, and this is the stance that we're rocking with from now on. Like closer stance for us, we feel good. That's only one squat session of using that stance, so I'm not confident enough to bring that into a PR. So that's why I said next training block, once we get more used to it, we'll go for a max. But then say it doesn't feel good. Say we're just like, it doesn't really feel good, kind of feels worse. Let's go back to just a neutral position, right? My squat at that point, like in this position, I don't feel confident enough to go for a PR, you know what I mean? So either way, no matter how you slice it, we're not going for a PR. So the goal is just to actually have this new stance be beneficial enough to the point where we just switch to this. Squats feel even better, you know, and then we can start feeling good with the squats, like how we do for the deadlifts and squats. And then just really start pushing, you know, the limits of our lifts, and then use that top single to, you know, continue to focus on this new stance. Like that's the goal.
Okay.
I felt clean. So from this point on, we're using closer stance. So first part of the goal completed. Now that last part, or second part, is just to get on this top single weight, hit it and have it feel good, you know? And then the third part of that goal, the last part, will just be continuing next training block, just continuing to use the stance, getting used to it. So far things are looking good. If we can hit the top single, you know, kind of low diff, things will be feeling, or we'll be in a really good place. So I am progressive overloading for this last set. It's not a max. I said we're not going for a max, but that being said, my max is 565, and last week, I got 555. So like, I was just gonna go for a top single to get used to this shit, but I also wanted to progressive overload. I got here with that mindset, so I'm gonna fucking do it. So this would actually be pretty huge if we can get this and feel good with it, because it's 5 pounds off of the PR. You know what I mean? So if I can get this, have it feel good with the new position, then yeah, like next training block, we solidify that shit, we're definitely in due for a PR. So this could potentially be huge. I'm gonna move up the safety racks just in case shit goes wrong. Bro, these are such a fucking bitch to move. But anyways, yeah. If we can get this shit, it'd be big money. Like, really, really big money. Because I would say, and like, I'm not really nervous as much as I was last week, because last week, I didn't really feel the best. We were using a position that I know now just feels a little bit worse than what I'm working with now. And we still got the 555. So I think like, I'm like 98% certain that we can get it. And if not, there's not that many people in here, so it won't be as embarrassing to fail, you know? Hopefully if we do fail, we can catch people like while their backs are turned so they don't see it. And then I could just like, since they didn't see the set, just be like, yeah, sorry guys, I failed at the 6th rep. That was going for, you know, an AMRAP of 560, you know? So yeah, looks like everybody's distracted. So we can get away with doing that shit today. So nothing to worry about. Succeed or fail. Hey, but you know what Gojo says? Pit 560 on the bar, and I'd win. Yo, Wymo? That was good. A little bit nervous going into it. I felt like if we weren't as nervous, it would have been a little bit smoother. But I'm happy with that. I mean, that's 560, 5 pounds away from our max. You know, one training session, only being able to use the warm up to get used to that better position. So yeah, point still stands. We spent next training block really solidifying that, and we're good, bro. We should be able to hit a new max.